here I am in Prif, and I am getting ready to meet up with Ectograss. She runs a series called Time Chunkman, where she is taking 1 hour per task to complete different challenges within her chunk until she's able to roll and move on. And as the series goes on, she has some extra rules that adds more time. But it's a super cool series, a really fun concept. So I actually heard about her series from Source Chunk when we did the podcast together, and I checked it out, and I thought it was so cool. I always get really excited at timed chunk series, just to see kind of what the differences are, what things overlap, and how things are going for them. I think having a clock adds a lot of interesting dynamics to the series as a whole. So we're here in Prif, and I'm going to meet up with her main account, her main Iron account, and we're going to do some Zalcano together. It has been a bit of time since I've done Zalcano, so this should be pretty interesting. I think we're going to try to duo it, and hopefully it doesn't go too bad. So yeah, I'm going to head over to Zalcano, meet up with her, and we'll see how duo Zalcano goes. You have such a cool series. Is it Zone Zoomer or is it Time Chunkman? Oop, not paying attention.
Well, Zone Zoomer is the name of the account, but Time Chunkman is the
Yes.
concept, I guess.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. When did you come up with that idea?
Well, for a long time, I wanted to do some sort of like chunkman. I don't remember what inspired me. I was on a roll of watching a lot of YouTubers, all these, the Slayer drop log by Vanica, a Chunkman by, I don't know who was the first Chunkman, but I think I did also Hapri, but he's obviously the extreme one. And I was like, I want to do a Chunkman, but I don't want to have to grind like some of these people do because, real life and job and everything. And I was like, I love grinding, but I don't want to just kill men for 99 defense or even from settled like the Tile Man. You still have to sometimes spend like 50 or 100 hours just to like get one item.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need some sort of something that will just keep me in place or like only have specific time. Oh my god, I'm throwing these rocks when I should be waiting. I freaking forgot how to do this. Oh my god, I was just throwing them.
You're all good.
But yeah, and I was just like, I need something that will not make me do a grind for like 100 hours, the same thing, because I will simply burn out and I will just get bored.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit inspired by Idol. He had this one funny video where he gave himself an hour to do something, and then every time he gets a new collection log pop up, he will the hour will reset, or he will get another hour to play. And I was like, that's a nice concept. So I was just trying to figure out how I could combine that with the Chunkman, and it took a long time. It took months to come up with this.
Yeah.
I don't know if somebody else had come up with it maybe before me, but the way that I decided, it came from me. Like that was from me. I didn't take it from anyone. Maybe there's somebody that had thought of it, but for my own thing, I had to come up with it myself.
Yeah. No, I understand. I have very similar in the sense that I didn't have anyone who was doing what I started, but then after I started, it seemed like there's a lot of people doing stuff that's very similar. But that was one of the things that I was really excited to talk to you about was within doing it, the timer really adds a lot of pressure.
It does. And my God.
How have you found playing with a timer? Has that been something you enjoy? Is it something that you feel frustrated about?
The timer, it like adds the aspect that I wanted to, like, oh, I won't have to grind for 90 hours for an iron pickaxe or something. But in the hour, you have to hope that the RNG is on your side, or that you will manage to get the fish and cook it in time and not burn, or it's hard to calculate the things that you will need, or the amounts of things, or the amounts of kills that you'll have to do. Like I went pretty dry on, I think it was the Iron Axe, from just skeletons. Like it's not a rare drop, but if you only have a certain amount of time, it's pretty hard. And that's why I
Yeah.
also adjusted my chunk rules to pretty simple ones. Like they're simpler than a regular vanilla chunk rules. And I've seen some people commenting on my videos, but oh, she took the easy way. She's like, it's not easy if you like the timer is a big deal. Like the timer,
Yeah, yeah.
it matters so much. People don't realize how much it matters until you actually have just an hour or 2 hours to get whatever level or item.
Yeah. So within your rule set, you allow for time extensions, right? Is it every 4 chunks that you unlock? Is that
Every
how?
5 chunks, yes, and up to a
Okay.
maximum of 5 hours per task.
Okay. How has that been? Do you feel like that's
Uh,
working out well? Do you think it's enough time?
yeah, but just how RuneScape is, I don't think that obviously I couldn't have known because I had just made this up myself. I couldn't have known if I
Yeah.
was like 5 hours per task later on. That's like plenty. That's why I kind of stopped at 5. But
Yeah.
of course, there's some skills that I don't even have access to yet, so I don't have to skill so much. But for those few skills that I have, like mining and smithing, like once I have to get like 80s or 90s, that is so long. It takes so much time, and I don't even think that 5 is enough. But I've kind of made this rule set. I haven't even reached the 5 hour time limit yet, but even with the 4, very often I'm like, oh my god, I need so much more time, especially with RNG tasks. Like currently, I'm doing them all, and I need drops, and
Yeah.
it's not a lot of time
Yeah.
with
So
a shitty setup.
you're yeah, because you're on your like 10th chunk, is that right?
Oh no, I think I have 17 open now. Quite a
17.
lot.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
on
yeah.
4 hours per task. So like, yeah, it's my second or third chunk with 4 hours per task. Oh come on.
And so within your rule set, you give yourself like killing a creature is a task, right?
Yeah.
So you have like kind of built in easier tasks to help when you have like run out of time.
Yeah, sort of. Well, those are just normal rules. I thought, like to kill a creature whenever you unlock a new creature to kill at once.
Okay.
But I also have the what is it? The item drops, but only to a certain KC drop rate. I think the drop rate that I've set it to is like 1 in 500 is the craziest that I allow myself. Although it is
Yeah,
a pretty crazy. I think it should be lower because my setup is just ass. It's terrible for a lot of things.
yeah. So what is your best setup right now? What's your best gear that you have?
For melee, I have an Addy chain body and probably not spoilers. A mithril plate body from the mole. That's for melee. And
Okay.
like, what am I using? An Addy mace, I think. Oh, Rune 2H. I got really lucky with the mystery box. One time I got
Oh, nice.
Rune 2H from the mystery box. Not a mithril simi. I got the Rune 2H. I was really lucky. And for magic, I literally have the wizard hat and a staff of air or earth, and the wizard's top and a magic amulet. So range, I'm pretty sure I have nothing. Just the regular leather body, leather chaps, and I don't know which bow. I can't even use good bows. So not great stuff. And to think that you have to
Yeah.
kill the mole several times, it's really, really slow. It takes like 15 minutes per kill. And you only have 4
Yeah.
hours. That's not a lot of kills.
You're not getting the pet, right?
No. That's not in mine. That would be impossible. Just impossible.
Yeah. Because
No.
it's like 1 in 2K or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
I mean, which is
that's
not huge, but
It is for a time chunkman. That's insane.
yeah.
Oh,
Getting
man.
4 kills an hour.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, and also you have to pay for runes. So like money making, I don't have good money making methods, and everything takes time. Like that's the issue that some people think, oh, your rules are so easy. Yes, but everything takes time, and that's what I have or don't have actually most of the time. I
Yeah.
don't have time.
What has been the most surprising thing for you the further you've gotten into your account? Like, what's some stuff that you didn't account for before you started?
Oh, money making, I think. I kind of didn't
Yeah.
think I would need so much money or money for anything almost like ever. Um, but you do need money later on. At first, I was like, oh, I just need to kill things. I just need to fish. I just need to woodcut. But later, runes, magic. I think magic, I didn't really think about magic. I thought, well, I can just kill things with melee, but not the mole. And prayer as well. That's
Yeah.
a big thing. I just kind of was thinking more about skills. I have the skiller mindset. I'm more of a skiller than PVMer. So I kind of didn't think about combat too much.
So how long have you been playing RuneScape? When did you get into it?
Oh my god, RuneScape. The whole game. 2007.
Yeah.
The classic. The classic year. Started in 2007 because my brother was playing, of course. A lot of people start because their older sibling was playing. I used to watch him. I remember he was in Lumbridge killing cows, and I was like, this is so fun. Or something. I don't know why that was so fun as kids. And then I wanted to start. I think I said that in the beginning of my like Chunkman series that I got stuck at the tutorial island.
Oh,
At the
yeah.
smithing part, yeah, and I could because I didn't know English. I'm foreign, so and there were no arrows nowadays on the tutorial island. There's like an arrow showing to use the anvil, to use the furnace, and back then there wasn't. I think there weren't any arrows, and I couldn't figure out that you have to use the bar on the anvil. And I asked my
Yeah.
brother, "Can you help me?" He's like, "If you're gonna play this game, you better figure it out yourself." And I was like, "What?" But I eventually figured it out, and that's how I played. I still play that account that I started with. It's an RS3 account now. But I still play it every day. I will, daily scape.
Oh, nice.
But I do play
That's
it.
fun. I think I've lost all access to all the accounts I had as a kid.
Oh, no.
I remember my very first account, I transferred it into RuneScape Classic. I don't know if you remember when they did that. And it locked me out of progressing to RuneScape 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like my old lost account I'll never get back.
Oh, no. I made plenty of accounts back then. I don't know why I had this weird want to make pure is just when you pure is a specific, but I just made accounts like, okay, this is gonna be my fishing only account, and then this is gonna be my cooking only, and this is so I had like 3 accounts on which I just fished or just cooked, and I just thought that was so cool and odd and interesting. Kind of made locked accounts back then already.
Yeah, doing snowflakes before they were a thing.
Literally. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I couldn't. I never thought about skiller only, just skilling. I just made specific skill accounts doing one thing. But yeah, but old school I started playing only in 2020. I was playing RS3 and I had a friend on RS3 and he was like, you want to make hardcore old school Iron Man? I was like, first of all, I haven't even played Iron Man. And to make it hardcore, on top of that, in old school, oh my god, Jesus, I almost died. Oh my god.
I know, me too.
Jesus. But yeah, and I was like, you're crazy. But then we did it anyway. And I really liked it. Like, I really liked it.
How long did your hardcore last?
In time, I don't know, but I think I got over. I mean, this is the account that was the hardcore. So, let me just look up what total I had when I was hardcore. Oh, 1040. So I got to 1,000 at least.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially for your first Iron Man. That's great.
Yeah, and first old school account in general. So I had never played old school. Yeah. On top of that, it was Iron Man and hardcore. Yeah, it was pretty good. I died at... it was ridiculous. I was going to make the water orbs in Towerly Dungeon. And I forgot that there were black dragons. And they cooked me to death.
Oh, dang. That sucks.
Yeah, I know. I didn't bring the shield.
Going back to Zone Zoomer, do you have like an end game in mind?
End game? Well, I'm kind of trying to just... My kind of goal, which is, I know, very vague, but my goal is to see how far you can get with this rule set, with this time-locked thing. Just to see how far I can get or push myself or what levels we can get or what achievements we can do or what bosses I can do. and get drops from in this specific like time rule set. But like an item goal or a boss goal, I don't have those because I think that would be that would be a bit, I don't know how to say that. I don't know, unrealistic to set a goal like, oh, I want to go to Friday Cave. Like it's most likely not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Like, let's be real.
Have you come up with what happens when you run out of time and don't finish a task?
Yes, but that would be a spoiler for now.
Oh, okay.
I can't talk about it. I'm not sure when this episode will go out. It has happened already.
Okay.
But I can't tell you what happens. I mean, the original thought is my account ends and that's it. But I had consulted the community and they have allowed me to resurrect myself, so to say.
How has been trying to figure out the mole with bad gear and all that?
The mole, the boss?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's been terrible. I mean, luckily now that they've done the whole magic update, it's now weak to water spells, so that's a little bit a better relief because I didn't even know that, but you can save spot them all in actually many spots of the cave. I don't know, I always, on my main, of course, because you have protection prayers, you just go and face it, protect melee up, and you're fine. But being able to save spot is really good and really important because I don't have a bunch of food, I don't have prayer on Zone Zoomer, but with the magic, it's at least better because the other best option would be melee, and my melee setup is terrible. And as I said, I don't have prayer, I don't have a lot of food, and she can hit pretty high, and she has a lot of HP as well.
Yeah, and the running away part.
Oh, that is so annoying.
Really, it really drags it out.
It's the most terrible thing. My kills would be so much faster if she didn't run, and I would be happier if they made like a set time that she would run like once or twice, but like it's random in the second half of her HP. It's random, and she just sometimes digs like 4 or 6 times, and you have to run all the way around. I camp this account there with the Valley Shield, so at least I know which direction to go to, so I just don't run around mindlessly. But it's still a lot of run, and as you know, my agility is like 8. I have no run regenerating things. So it's all just, my run is very precious.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw when Limpwort was at Mole, but he also used his main with the shield.
Yeah.
But he had his main follow his chunk account and then safe spotted behind the main.
Oh, that is very smart. No, I have not seen that. That's interesting. I could do that. Usually I just... Oh my god, I have to go to the furnace. Usually I leave the, well, quote-unquote main. My Iron Man is my main. I leave it in the center, and I also set up a cannon that I don't load with cannonballs, just to lower the possibility of people crashing me, because if they see already an account there, sometimes they don't click on me and they don't check that I'm an Iron Man, because usually people don't care if you're an Iron Man, they're just gonna crash you. But if they see a cannon, they see a person standing there, they're like, oh, someone's doing them all, I'm gonna leave. Because there's been many people that have hopped in and hopped out, and some people even notice my little account, they're like, oh, that's cute. So I just hope they don't crash me. But following, I feel like if you go away from the center, they'll be like, oh, the mole layer is free. So I kind of just camp the center. Because, you know, if maybe Limport, I guess he doesn't do time, Chunkman. If he is crashed, it's not that big of a deal. But if I'm halfway into it, that's 7 minutes. You know, that's a lot of time. Yeah. And someone crashes me and it's not my kill, it's a lot of time waste.
Yeah. So you were saying that some people who watch complain that your rules are too easy. What is the things that they think are too easy?
They probably think what easy is my rule set that I don't know what the vanilla rules are, but it's probably like when you kill a boss to like the rarest item could be 1 in 1,000. I think I have lowered it to 1 in 500 for me to be the most rare thing to have to hunt for. And they probably
Yeah.
think that no skill capes, no pets, no what else is there? Like every item from a boss, no every item from every NPC. I don't know. Sometimes every item from every NPC would actually be kind of useful because that would give me more tasks, therefore it would give me more time. But it
Yeah.
could be crazier drops, so I don't know. I think I'm okay with having that removed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely what you are doing is not a typical chunk account.
No.
And so having rules that are slightly different makes a lot of sense to fit the main thing that you're doing, which is the timer.
Yeah. And I set these rules in the beginning. I also didn't know how this account would go. I had no idea. I just came up with it and I was like, this looks fine. 1 in 500 seems fine if normally it's 1 in 1,000, but I think it should be even lower. Like people think it's easy, but it's not. It's easy in the sense that it's easy-ish, but it's just almost impossible if you change the rules because of the time. So like the time doesn't make it hard. It just makes it less possible for many things to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you mentioned, not only are you accounting for the time it takes to kill, say, the mole, taking 15 minutes at a time, but also anything you have to prep.
Yep.
So if you have to make money to get runes, or you have to make arrows, or you're spending all that same amount of time preparing, which eats into that a ton.
I know. And also figuring out like the better runes, because at first I was unfortunately using water bolts, so chaos runes, but they're super expensive. They're 90 GP each, and then you actually have to like think, and then I later realized that it's better to actually use mind runes, so water water strike, even though it's less DPS, and it's gonna take longer, but like you have to account for the time that it takes to make the money. So like in an hour of money making, I can only gather chaos runes for less than 1 kill. But in an hour of money making, I can gather runes like money for mind runes for like, I don't know, 10 kills. Even though the kills are slower, the money that it's weird because you have to think about both time spent, not just killing, but gathering.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you're getting chaos, that's going to be 10 times more expensive than mind runes.
20.
And then on top
I think
of that,
a mind rune is like 3 GP and chaos rune is 90. That is, or 3 or 4 GP. It's insane. Like, but I don't kill them all 20 times slower. It's only like 1.5 times slower, maybe.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until kind of late. I spent a lot of money on chaos runes, a lot, and then I can make like 17k GP an hour with my thieving method, and that's like I said, less than 1 mole kill in chaos runes. But then that's a lot of mind runes, so
yeah,
it's crazy. A lot of calculations later on here, or in general in RuneScape, I guess.
Yeah. With your stuff, with your chunk map, you are not doing the random rolls, right? You get to like map out where you want to go.
No, my rules is that I pick one and then I do the roll 2 option and then pick one of the 2. So there's still a little bit of the random element because I could roll 2 terrible ones and I still have to take one of them. I could roll 1 better, 1 terrible. Of course, I'm going to pick the better one. But I had to add that because I thought everything random, it would probably end in the first 5 episodes. Because it's just, if you get a terrible chunk, that's like, no. So I had to put a little bit of choice, a little bit of random element in there, but not too much.
I think that's a really smart strategy for what you are doing. To have a little more agency than just making it completely random. Because, like, the randomness is fun. But like you said, if the series ends right away, then kind of what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. That's why also I had to adjust the rules and also adjust the timer thing. My initial idea, like, before I refined it, was just 1 hour per task the whole time. Literally, it would be done by episode 5. Because it impossible. There's so many tasks already. was so close to the timer when I was at the 2 hours per timer or 3 hours per timer, like it would have died in the first few chunks.
What has been the hardest task to complete so far for you?
Hardest, what does that mean, in the time sense?
Maybe the closest to
Closest to
the
end.
least amount of margin. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably the most stressful, I would say, was the Iron Axe or whatever that was from the skeletons or zombies I was killing. I don't remember because it was just RNG and it was not a terrible drop rate. I was just not getting it, and it was so close. It was like I don't remember if it was 6 minutes or something, and 6 minutes is not a lot when you're killing, I don't know, 2 monsters a minute or something. And
yeah,
that was pretty close. And then also not too long ago when I had to do the Skippy and the Mogres mini quest, I messed up the nettle tea, and then I also forgot to bring the what was it, the snape grass. Luckily there's that Hobgoblin Peninsula there not far away, but I went there thinking that I have all the items and just with 2 minutes left, so I had to run quickly, and I was out of run and stuff like that. And of course, the mole is currently the worst thing.
Yeah.
That is very close every time.
Is there any content that you have, like, that you know about that you're worried to get that you think would end that just is not completable for you?
Oh, in general, like completely not completable. Yeah, mining and smithing and crafting. There's that. What is that? Falador East Bank chunk. Because then you can enter the dwarven mines, and that is amethyst, and that is crafting, and that is smithing, and that is just done. Like even if I somehow revive myself, it's just not possible. Like it's just not possible.
Yeah.
You need 92 mining and like 85 crafting, and with the methods that I have available and with the time limit, that's just done.
Yeah, that's like hundreds of hours.
Yeah. That's just not possible. I don't get that time. And plus, on top of that, it's not only, those are not going to be the only requirements in the chunk. There's going to be maybe another RNG drop or maybe another level to 70. Like, 70 is still not fast. Like, it's fast in terms of general game, but it's not fast if you have just 8 hours to do it.
Yeah. Well, and also, anytime you're trying to get a drop, it feels like it takes so much longer.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can get things on accident and be like, oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
But when you're looking for something, the game knows. And
I
it
know.
really slows it down.
It's literally like it knows. Like I need a very simple item from the mall, the strength amulet. It's 1 in 18. I don't have it after 50 KC. I don't have it.
That's brutal.
I know. And it's such a simple thing. Just do it. Just give it to me. And I've had like almost everything from that table that the strength Emmy is on. And it's just not giving me the strength Emmy.
So how do you plan around that? So like if you're looking for the strength Emmy, but you don't know how long it's going to take you to get, how much time do you dedicate towards trying to get it versus training other things to prepare for a next task?
Well, I kind of check the situation of the tasks that I have. So if I have like, I call them panic tasks, something like kill a man, pick a potato, I don't know, spin wool, that's simple. That's going to take a minute. So if I have plenty of those, I kind of just go for it. I think that's how I do it. It's hard to explain because sometimes you have to like just go for it and try to get it just to be able to not fail. But sometimes I'm like, okay, I have plenty of time. Maybe because in case I'm, let's say, down to 3 hours on my timer, that if I get the drop, my timer will reset and I will lose the 3 hours when I could have skilled or made money in those 3 hours. So sometimes when I have a lot of panic tasks, I think I said it wrong before, that I actually maybe spend like an hour or two training or making money to like at least use some of that time for skilling. And then for the last hour or two, I go and try for the strength Emmy. If I don't get it, okay, I go do a panic task and then try again and then rinse and repeat. But if I'm like, there's nothing, no panic tasks, I just have to go for it. I just have to go and do it because there's no other option.
Yeah. Yeah, because like if you went straight into the mole and you got 3 tasks in a row,
Yeah.
like back to back to back, you've just wasted or lost like 11 hours or something like
Yeah.
that. Is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, so I have to
Yeah,
like
that.
try not to do it. I know in the first episode, of course, it was all fun and dandy, and it was just 1 hour, and there's plenty of tasks like obtain a bronze scimitar. Oh, it's just upstairs. Obtain a bronze pickaxe. It's just downstairs. Just pick it up. And like I just went and did them. But at first, it didn't really matter. But of course, those hours could have come in handy right now, like on a
Mm.
later date. But at first, it didn't really matter that much.
So if you could start over the whole series, is there things that you would want to do differently?
For sure, not to, how's that, rapid firing the first tasks, saving a little bit of time, going like, being smart about it, be like, okay, let's not do the task when I have still 55 minutes left. Let's just go train mining or whatever that isn't a task already that wouldn't make me lose my time. And, but other than that, I think after like the first or second chunk, I already started doing it that way. I was really mindful about my hours and I didn't just go taking off tasks just because it's fun.
Are there rules that you wish you would have changed or done differently?
Yeah, maybe the drop rates. At first, like I said, I thought, 1 in 500 drop rate to be, the hardest one seems fine, but it's not. I think 1 in 128 from any boss is enough. 1 in 128 is a pretty normal drop rate, I feel like, and it may seem extremely low and simple to get, but with the rule set and with the setup that I have, it's pretty hard, even 1 in 128. Even with such a simple boss like the mole.
Yeah, like even if you're trying to get a 1 in 128 from like a green dragon with bad gear, that's pushing up to 4 hours already.
Yeah, it is, exactly. And mole is even worse. And mole is one of the easier bosses, but it is if you have the appropriate gear. But I don't. I'm killing it as a free-to-play noob with like 50 magic and a staff and a hat. Like, you splash so much.
Ooh, I almost died.
Oh, God.
2 HP.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, there you go.
You also, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is you've been doing a lot of trivia on your YouTube shorts.
Yes.
Doing RuneScape trivia. How have you found doing that? Do you enjoy that? Has that been fun?
Yes, I enjoyed the trivia. I don't know. I have always been a trivia person. I like trivia. I think it's so fun, and I don't know how it comes to me. Honestly, a lot of my shorts ideas is ridiculous. I do some meme shorts as well, but some of those ideas literally, and I'm not lying, come to me in a dream or while I'm sleeping. Or one time I got up in the night to go to the bathroom and just this short idea just comes into my mind. I'm like, oh, that would be fun. Like, I don't know, in the daytime when I'm just like trying to think of a meme or something, it just doesn't come. But then when I'm asleep, all the ideas start rushing in. But the trivia, I don't know. One day I think it came to me during Zone Zoomer. Like, you have to know all kinds of things about the game, or I was wikiing something, obviously, for my account. And I was just thinking, oh, what is this? What is that? And I thought, what if I made that into a video, like asking people? And I thought it was fun. And then I thought, oh, I could do like tiers. Like, there's all kinds of questions, but it would be nicer if I grouped them into easy or beginner or hard. And that's kind of how I came about with it. And I think it's fun. A lot of people say they enjoy it a lot. They say they find out a lot of stuff. And it's one of the harder things is to categorize the questions, because something that may be easy to me is actually very hard for others, or the other way around. And a lot of I've tried to like categorize it like easy equals big, like start game, like beginning of the game, and hard is like later. But I feel like most of the players are in the mid to end game, so the end game questions are actually the easier things for them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's hard to put it into categories, but I try my best, and if other people don't like it, it's fine. Maybe I try to take their advice. They're like, oh, this was actually medium. I'm like, okay, next time that type of questions I'll put in medium.
Yeah, it reminds me. I don't know if you watch Josh Isn't Gaming,
Oh,
but he does like
yes.
the fun facts
Yes.
segment of his videos, and
Yes.
it's such a cool idea to do the trivia because I think it kind of hits that same idea or same like content where you're sharing the stuff that you're learning as you're going, similar
Yeah.
to Josh, but completely packaged in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. I love his Funyunil facts and troller facts. I always find that so interesting. I'm like, oh my God, this is like, it's small, stupid details that don't matter most of the time, but it's just fun to know them. I try not to put in my trivia the things that obviously people wouldn't know, but sometimes, when I was playing Zone Zoomer, I had to, my best food at one point was, or best cooking method was scrambled egg. And honestly, before that, I had no idea you could make that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't know that scrambled egg existed in the game, like as a food, and there's other types of food as
Yeah.
well. And I thought, what else is there that we don't know? There's plenty of things that we don't know. I love watching all these RuneScape videos of hidden things and Easter eggs and all that stuff, but I try to make my trivia more accessible to more people, like
Yeah.
things that people most likely will know, not super hidden things.
Do you have a preference between doing like the shorts, like those, or the long form videos?
I like both. I like shorts because they're short and funny, and the memes that is. But shorts
Yeah.
also, it's all weird because shorts give you more views and they also give me more subscribers. But it is just short form content, so it's most of the time just they don't really know what I am or what I do just from this short. A lot of the times, of course, as shorts, people also say that I don't even play the game. But like, go to my account and look at my long form videos. I have RuneScape videos, like long form, so which prove that I play the game, but they don't care about that. So that's the big downside of shorts. The big good thing about shorts is a lot of views and a lot of subscribers, but the downside is the haters. The lots of haters. Because on long form content, I almost don't start people, but I don't get really hate comments. So I'm not as big, of course. That's why. The bigger you are, the more hate comments you'll get. But so far, I don't really get hate comments on my long form content. So, it just attracts a different type of audience, the shorts.
Long form, people are generally seeking it out.
Yeah, yeah. And they're interested and they stay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but the short is like you see it on your feed and you're like, oh, this is so annoying. Type, and like they're not interested.
So we don't have to talk about this if you don't want to, but one of the things I was curious about was not a lot of women play RuneScape.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of women play, but the
Yes.
proportions are very different.
Yes.
How do you find that fitting into the RuneScape culture in that aspect?
I mean, in the whole game aspect, I don't know. When I was a kid, I remember when I was playing RuneScape as a child, and then I would talk to someone, and we would be chatting like as friends, and then they would find out I'm a girl, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're a girl," and I'd be like, "Okay," like I didn't know the whole. There's no girls on in the internet, or girls don't play games. I was just confused. I was like, "What do you mean? Yes, so like, what does that matter at all?" But
Yeah.
as getting older, you see, of course, people still use this old joke. It's every video. I would say every one of my shorts is like, that's not. There's no women on the internet. There's no women on RuneScape. It's so old. Grow up. But I don't know. In the content creation, oh my God, there's a lot of girls. Well, there's a lot of streamer girls on RuneScape. I'm just talking about RuneScape. There's a lot of girls on RuneScape. A lot of girls on Twitch, a lot of girls on YouTube. So I don't know why people are still so surprised or so angry that there are, because this isn't everybody's space, It's not just for boys or men, but it's not easy, of course, because I would prefer that my shorts or my videos would get like constructive criticism, like, oh, I don't like this trivia because the question was stupid or your text was too big, but they just like, you're stupid because you're a girl. Like, really? That's the whole thing you could say? I don't know. But no one has ever really given me, like actual criticism. And then sometimes I respond to those hate comments. Most of the time I delete them and block them because I don't care. But if I respond to them sometimes just to meme with them, they're like, oh, you care so much that you responded. I'm like, this is my page. Of course I respond to you. You came to me. I didn't come to you. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's not easy out there, and I just don't understand why. I don't understand why that happens. Yeah. I don't get it. Because I don't do that. I don't care if the creator is whoever they are. I don't like talk shit to them just because of who they are. Like if their voice is annoying, sure, I'll say it, or their video format or their microphone is shit. Like say that, but not you're ugly. Yeah. Like that's all you could do. That's what offended you? My looks. Really. I don't know, but yeah, the girl thing it's old and it's stinky and it's not funny and it's just so outdated. I don't know why people still say that.
Yeah, it's something that I think about a lot because I have 3 daughters and no sons, and so like them getting into like playing games online and stuff like that has always kind of been like I don't know how to help you navigate this because I know from my experience, which is completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm happy that that RuneScape doesn't have like a voice chat or like there's plenty of men that play as girl characters, so like you can't just tell who is a girl. You can't. And usernames also. Some men have girly usernames or quote unquote girly. But like at least no one can tell by you playing the game, no one can tell that you're a girl, so they can't target you off the bat. So, you know, like in voice chat video games, I don't know, like Call of Duty or something, they can tell by the voice that you're speaking in there. They can tell you're a girl. They already start shitting on you. But at least here, there's that little mystery aspect that people still don't know. And then maybe they'll get to know you as a person who they think is a boy, maybe, or a man. And they're like, oh, you're a girl person. And then you're like, oh, I'm actually a girl. And then maybe then they'll not be as mean because they had got to know you as a person before. But I don't understand why knowing someone's gender would change their opinion or make them angry or make them rude or something.
Yeah, seriously. Like you said, if they think of you as a person first, then it's
a person. That's the point. Different. They don't think of women as people is the problem.
Yeah.
Literally, that's problem. The whole deal.
It's very, the people who really are toxic in that way are very pathetic in that same way of like how simple of a thing it is to just be kind to everyone.
Yeah.
And yet they want to put people down for things that are not, I don't want to say not their fault because obviously there's no fault in being a woman.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? Like there's not something out of your control.
Yeah, you can't I mean, you technically can change, I guess, but like, I mean, it's the same as you can't really change that you were born in a specific country. What am I going to do about this? It happened and that's it. That's what it is. It is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of being born in a different country, can I ask where you are from?
Oh, you'll have to guess. That's my whole dealio. When I was streaming, people had to guess where I'm from. You don't know where I'm from?
You told me.
Oh, I did. Did I?
Yes.
Okay, so I have to just tell the viewers. Oh man, you can't guess. Oh man. Well, I'm from a small Eastern European Baltic country called Latvia.
Oh, okay. You didn't tell me. Sorry, I lied.
Oh man, we could have done the guessing game.
Sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Here, ready? I'll cut that out and I'll guess.
Yeah, we can redo this.
From Latvia.
Latvia, yes.
Is there many people who play RuneScape or online games where you're from while you were growing up, or is that something that?
Games for sure. I mean, nowadays I don't know because I don't really interact with any Gen Z or Gen Alpha people, so I don't really know what they do. They probably do play Fortnite and all kinds of stuff, but back in my day, speaking as an old person, there were plenty of people in my class, in my friends who played RuneScape specifically as well. There were people who played WoW, a few, and plenty of people had like consoles, so the boys usually played Call of Duty or just console games. I never had a console, so I actually had never played any console games. That's why I kind of stick to RuneScape all my life. And but yeah, they played. I even got some of my girlfriends back in the day, like 3 of my girlfriends in RuneScape. So we all 4 girls, we would play RuneScape. So if people say, you know, even back in the day, there's no girls on the internet, there's plenty of my girlfriends played RuneScape as well.
And so playing in Latvia growing up and not speaking English, did the game help you learn English, or when did you start learning to speak English?
Yeah, I literally had this conversation with my friend this morning because I was just thinking about the podcast doing, and I was like, oh, what if I mess up in English, you know? And I was just thinking, because I remember in school as well, when I was like 11, I basically started to play this game when I was, 11 or, I don't remember, 9, 10 or 11. And when I was 11 or 12, my English teacher would sometimes come to me and be like, where did you learn to construct sentences that way? Like, we haven't learned how to construct sentences with the had and have been and everything there. She was like, where did you learn that? Because I haven't taught you that. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I remember learning English in kindergarten, of course, you know, like house, cow, cat, apple. And then in school, and I remember having problems differentiating the word tree and 3, and somehow I think I legit do think it was RuneScape, especially for the vocabulary part, like words like rake and spade. I never would have known those words ever if it wasn't for RuneScape. And then probably just like subconsciously reading chat with people, with natives, like British or American people on the game. And also the quest text. I didn't understand it back then, but it probably was just, I have good visual memory, so it just probably like stayed in my brain as a long story picture. And when the time was right, my brain just pulled that information out and was like, now you know how to say things because you've seen them in the game. I think that's how it happened, because I knew English better than the level that we were taught at the time. And I don't know how. And I think it's RuneScape, honestly. Thank you, RuneScape, the game that you are.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I apologize. I don't know. What is the language that you speak in Latvia?
We speak Latvian. We have our own little language.
Oh. Yeah. Have you considered making content in Latvian?
No, probably not, because we have very, very few people. We are a tiny country. We only have about 2 million people. So it just wouldn't go anywhere. I would probably have a few thousand views or a few hundred subscribers. Like, there's so many, would you say, like, limitations. First thing, so I'm Latvian, speaking Latvian. Second, I'm playing games. So that's even smaller market. Third, I'm playing a specific game, RuneScape. And fourth, as we spoke, I'm a girl. So most people they're not interested, or men are mostly interested in games and they kind of want to, watch their peers. So there's so many limitations that in the end I would have very few interactions, very few views, and it would just not be worth doing. Also, I am a bit more comfortable, unfortunately, speaking English than Latvian, because I've been doing it for years now, and honestly, sometimes I forget words in my own language, or I just don't use it on a daily basis so much that I would just not be able to sound decent in Latvian.
I understand that. It's weird how when you use a different language most of the day, you can forget things that you've known since you were a kid.
Yes, I know. It's insane. Sometimes I'm talking to when I talk to my brother, it's okay because he understands English. So I just insert English words here and there, or sometimes a full sentence in English, because I'm like, it's automatic in English. It's crazy because it's automatic in in English, but not in my native language anymore. So I have to think for my native language more than I have to think for English. But yeah, I've been dreaming in English since, I don't know, I was 15 years old. I don't even know. I don't even dream in Latvian anymore. But yeah, and then with my mom, she doesn't really know English that well. So when I want to insert those English words like I do with my brother or sentences, I can't because she doesn't understand it. So I have to like sit there for like a minute and think of the word or try to explain to her with my hands or something. And sometimes it's really difficult.
Yeah, I live in Thailand. I grew up in America.
Yeah.
But my phone number I only know in Thai, which sounds really stupid.
Huh.
But I can rattle it off in Thai so easy, but I have to write it down and read it to get it in English.
Yeah.
Like if I was going to say it in English, it takes so much effort for me to remember, okay, what number is it? But in Thai or even dialing it, I can do it without thinking.
Yeah.
But communicating it in English, there's like a mental block there.
Yeah, it's crazy because I would be happy if both languages were on the same level, but it's really just what you use most. And I also speak English on a daily basis. My work is in English, everything is in English, and then sometimes I meet up with my brother or mom, and then I finally can have a little Latvian break and try to remember things, or with my grandmother. Oh my god, obviously she doesn't know English, and it's really slow. I feel stupid sometimes, like I'm just lagging in real life trying to speak to my grandma in my native language.
Yeah, that sounds pretty tough.
Yeah, a bit ridiculous and embarrassing because I'm like, no, I don't want to forget my language. I'm proud, you know. We're only 2 million people, probably 2 million speakers, and to be one of them. And it's not like any other language. It's not like in the group of the Germanic languages or Slavic. It's not even Slavic. We're on Eastern Europe, but we are the Baltic languages, and there's just two. It's Latvian and Lithuanian. Lithuania is a country next to my country. And there's just two. Okay. So it's pretty important to know and speak that language that is basically dying out.
Yeah. It does Lithuanian, is there a lot of overlap between your two languages, or is it pretty different?
No, it's very different. It's similar, like if you put it on paper and you like, I don't know, ingredients to a chocolate bar, you put them side by side, you're like, yeah, I guess I could understand some words because a lot of their words are our words with AS in the end. So sometimes we joke about that their language is just ass. Well, not ass, AS, not double S. Or just like if it ends with AS, it's probably Lithuanian. But in general, if they speak, no. If we speak, no. We don't understand each other. And it's funny because we're like from the same group. Like we're two languages in the same group and we do not understand each other at all. To me, Lithuanians sound more Russian than they sound Latvian or anything.
How many languages do you speak? Is it just the two, or do you have extra on top of that?
Like fluently, almost died. Fluently, I speak Latvian and English, of course. I know some Russian. I understand more than I speak, obviously, because that's how it goes at first. So I understand quite a lot of Russian. I can speak just a little bit. And I know some Spanish. I understand, I would say more Spanish than I understand Russian. And then I can speak also quite some Spanish. And then just a few words in all kinds of languages that I've had to deal with, or I can like, I don't understand too much. I don't understand Polish from hearing it, but if I see it in writing, I can understand something because it's, to me, similar to Russian. I also can, from reading, understand some Dutch because it's similar to English, and I lived in the Netherlands for a while for school. So, but I don't speak them at all.
Gotcha. So what was it that made you want to start making YouTube content? When did that start?
Well, first I was a Twitch streamer. So I started Twitch streaming end of 2020. Of course, the peak time when everyone kind of started streaming because of COVID. And I was playing this game and I kind of I wanted to stream. I've always wanted to make videos when I was 10 years old. Not RuneScape, but just I loved making videos or making funny things, and I used to make like home funny videos with my friends back in the day when we were kids, and I always enjoyed that. And I was like, well, I'm doing old school, and I actually had no idea. I was not in YouTube. I was not watching YouTube at all, and I didn't know that people made content about old school RuneScape. I was like, really? People watch this on YouTube? Like, what is there to show? And then I found out, and I looked at Twitch and I'm like, oh my God, it is actually pretty popular and pretty saturated. And I was like, I could do this too, I guess. So I did some streaming from 2020, and then I think I posted my first YouTube short in end of 2021. I think it's actually perfect 3 years right now. But that was just shorts. I was just like, I'm just gonna post some Twitch highlights and stuff on YouTube. But I think my first longer video about the differences between RS3 and OSRS, I think I posted in like 2022 probably.
Okay.
And yeah, I just was like, maybe I should do that because streaming seems simple, but it takes a lot of energy. You have to be in front of the camera, sit up straight, look nice, smile, not be pissed off, not be tired. And I was like, it takes so much energy. I was like, I'd rather do some videos where I can, sometimes slouch or be sick and do the videos instead of always looking nice and looking lovely and always smiling, even though people come in and call you an idiot. so I kind of shifted to YouTube instead because I felt like it was more on my time. And I didn't feel the obligation to like, oh my God, I have to go live in 20 minutes, but I feel so tired and I haven't had lunch and I still have to go shopping, It's harder to do streaming. So I applaud all the streamers that go live every single day. It's crazy.
Yeah, streaming is a lot of work.
It is.
It's like, because the job is to make something very unnatural look very natural. And that's not easy to do.
No, it takes so much brain power, and on top of that, you're also playing the game and then making sure you're, like I said, sitting up straight, looking good, and reading chat and coming up with stuff to answer and say while it's silent. Like, it's so many things all at once. It is very tiring, very tiring.
Is that something that you still do a little bit here and there, or are you kind of done with streaming?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm done forever. I like the idea of it, and I like it, but I don't like sadly the commitment that comes with it. Like, I would like to just click live and just chill with my friends or chill with the people in my community and talk to them or do some game content. But then I know they like to see me live, and like I feel an obligation to like, well, they like to see me live, I should go live tomorrow and then the next day. So I don't want to promise them things. I'd rather hang out with them just on a random day on Discord or something, rather than like commit to the streaming part. I would like to stream again, but it's very tiring, very time consuming as well.
Yeah. When you first started finding the old school content on YouTube and on Twitch, what were the first series that you kind of got invested into?
I think obviously cliche and very known, but it was the Swampletics, I think. My friend showed me, and I played just old school in general, and then they said, oh, have you watched any series? I was like, no. And they're like, oh, there's this big guy settled. I was like, okay. And then I watched and I was like, there's no way people play this way. Like, what? Like in one area with restrictions, doing crazy shit. And I was like, there's no way. I thought Hardcore Iron Man was insane enough, or Ultimate Iron Man was insane enough, but there's more. I think that was the first. But on Twitch, the first people that I saw, I mean, I had heard of Bodhi, I had heard of some other like MMORPG streamers, but I never watched them. I don't know who is the first person that I actually like watched. I don't know. I just scroll through Twitch just to see what are people doing, like what are they doing while streaming live.
Yeah, Twitch is hard to find. Like, it's hard to name like a series or like to hold on to a creator, because you're kind of just hopping in and watching like a raid or something like that, some bossing content, where like YouTube, you have like a very strong narrative for a lot of series. Yeah,
I think Swampletics was one of my first like series, and then of course came Tileman, but in between I also found all kinds of smaller creators, and I really enjoy watching smaller creators as well.
Yeah. Is there any series that you're enjoying right now that's kind of similar to yours, or like in the same like twisting a concept around similar to what you have done?
Well, I guess that would be like Chunkman. So yeah, I'm watching Chunkman. I'm watching Happy's Extreme what is it? Extreme Ultimate One Chunk. I don't know. I don't know the exact name, but I'm watching his series Happy. I'm watching the Josh Isn't Gaming, Chunky and Ill. Who else was I watching? Oh, Only Trails has that Clue Chunk UIM. He had taken a break from it though, but I like that. Not that I only love chunkman accounts. I just like to see what everyone does with their chunk concept differently.
Yeah.
But I also very much enjoyed, although that has ceased for a while now, is Vanikas, Slayer, Drop Locked. That was one of my favorite series for a long time. Because he was uploading very often. And who else is there? Oh, there's plenty. Oh, I also watch not very restricted, but watching Low Soul Gamers, or Gabe, I guess, is just Iron Man completionist. So that is kind of like the higher end content that's that I watched. Everything else, everything Chunkman is like simple stuff. It takes a while, but everybody really still has a mithril pickaxe or a steel, a steel simi, but Gabe is like at the end game of an Iron Man, so that's kind of like I watch that to motivate my Iron Man to go further and do some higher end stuff.
What is your favorite things to do in game?
I love skilling most of the time. I also do like Slayer. I like all kinds of mini games like this, Guardians of the Rift, the Zalcano, and some PVM. I also like Corrupted Gauntlet. Oh, that died. I like Corrupted Gauntlet. Not too much at a time, but I don't hate it. I know a lot of people don't like it. I'm not very lucky there, but I just like it. It also kind of reminds me, a lot of people have disagreed with me, but it reminds me of RS3 Dungeoneering, and I do like Dungeoneering. So the only problem, of course, in Corrupted Gauntlet is the time. Isn't that ironic? The time the time limit is pretty annoying, as it's not a lot of time that you get to prepare. And if you get terrible spawns in the rooms, it just ruins the whole run. But I do like the whole idea of it.
Do you find that you are playing this account, your Iron Man? Do you find you're playing that differently now that you've started your Time Chunkman?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so, because that account is still in the very, very early stages of the game in general, and this account is pretty far in. So I couldn't even change much. I have no necessity to fish salmon or make scrambled eggs or smelting steel bars, yes. But in general, no, I don't think so, because this account is kind of far ahead. I have to do all this. Actually, I didn't play this for a while because I was so focused on Zone Zoomer, and then I came back and I had to relearn all kinds of things, like Corrupted Gauntlet as well. I had to relearn a lot of higher end content or mid-game content that I'm in right now, because I was so used to all that noob stuff that I forgot, you have to bring this thing to this place. So I forgot I even have that thing, because I don't have that on the Zone Zoomer.
Is there any items that you would like to have in your chunks? Is there anything that would change what you're able to do, or the way, like, if you're like, if I just had this one item, the thing would work so much better for me?
Oh, like an item, not just for fun, because I was thinking like a pet, boss pet, or just a skilling pet. That would be cool to have, but like an item that would actually change, quote unquote, everything. Geez, I haven't even thought about that. There's a lot, I think. Probably like a good weapon. It doesn't matter probably not range, but well, I already have a staff, so probably would be like a rune simi, just a good weapon, or maybe the access to get defender, or maybe magic. Was it magic guild? In Yanil, mages guild. I remember Josh Isn't Gaming talking about that, not knowing what the actual name of the guild is, because it's confusing. Maybe some magic armor. Like, it probably would be combat stuff, because the skilling stuff is not that big of a deal. Of course, upgrading all my tools would be great. Also, I don't understand game. Why we can smith axes, but not pickaxes. I don't understand that. We should be able to make pickaxes. Crazy, right? Literally, what the hell? So I can make a mithril axe, but I can't make a mithril pickaxe. Please, it's all the same.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to say a pickaxe would be easier to make than an axe.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. I wish I would have a better pickaxe because mining is a big part that I'm doing right now. Always mining coal, always looking forward, or not looking forward actually, just planning for the future of a smithing grind. I always need more ores, and it would be nice to mine faster. But
Yeah.
yeah, but combat armor would be better, or weapons would really help. Because the more RNG things in the game are from monsters, so if I can kill them faster, that would be better.
Yeah. Do you miss the tool belt from RS3 on Zone Zoomer? Do you think that's something you would want, or is that something that you don't really think about?
The tool belt is cool, but I've been playing, OSRS since 2020, so I'm used to needing tools always on you if you want to do craft anything or smith anything with a hammer. You always need to have your tool. So it's not like at first it was hard to adapt to that, but I'm already adapted to it. On Zone Zoomer, I don't think it matters that much. It really only takes up one inventory space. It would have helped at first when I was kind of a UIM. I didn't have a bank at first for the first, I don't know how many chunks, 5 or 7. That would have helped then, but since it's old school, I'm kind of used to it, and I think it would, of course, a lot of people think it would defeat the whole OSRS feeling if we had a tool belt.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I dream about the tool belt on my account all the time.
Really?
Yeah, because I have to carry like 12 items with me because I don't know when I'll hit a bank again, and so I'm like constantly like playing with 2 inventory slots, and I was like, the tool belt would be so nice.
Yeah. In that case, I understand, of course. In that case, but I have a bank, so I'm not gonna lose my bank. So luckily,
yeah,
not that big of a deal for me, for now.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and tell me about your series.
Thank you.
That was what I wanted to ask you.
Oh, please.
Sorry, before I'm wrapping it up, but I still have one more question that I meant to ask. Remington. How did you choose that as your start?
Well, it's funny because like a year before I started the Chunkman, I started a Tileman, of course, because of Settled series. And I decided to start it in Remington, my Tileman, my little Tileman. And I started actually recording content for it, not really talking because I was not used to making series, or I was not really making long form content like that. So I just recorded stuff without me speaking, and I thought I would narrate it later. Do you want to start another one? No. So I would narrate it later, but I just kind of got tired of the Tileman. It was a bit too hard. It was too hard for me. So I stopped, and then I made the Chunkman. I was like, you know what? Let's try starting the same spot. I didn't look at the Chunkman chunk map and think of the best or worst chunks. I know people say Lumbridge is a bad chunk, although with my rule set, I think it would be fine, Lumbridge. But I just went for Remington, where I had started my Tileman.
Yeah, I think Lumbridge, the hard part about Lumbridge for like more vanilla rule sets is the Addy ore that's real close in the swamp. That's the thing that I think it really gets people, because that's a 70 mining requirement.
Yeah.
And then the furnace is there too, so if you have to smith it, I think.
Yeah, so you have to, That's a higher requirement. Yeah, and Remington downside is that you have no bank for a while, because the closest bank is like Felidor or Draenor, and it's pretty several chunks away. So that was the harder part about it. But in general, it's not that crazy. There's not too much, the low level ores, low level trees. Well, there's a yew tree far away, but not far away. I mean, but you don't have an axe, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
I thought it would be a decent start.
Yeah. It's such a fun series. I definitely think people should go check it out if they haven't seen it. But thank you again for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. This was fun and interesting and nice to chat.
Yeah, it's been great. Where can people find you? I know you're Ectograss on YouTube. Do you have any other places people can get in contact with you?
Yes, I
Check
have
your stuff out.
Ectograss almost everywhere. Ectograss on Twitter or X, Ectograss on Instagram, Ectograss on YouTube. I also have a Discord server that is not a special link, but you can usually find that in the description of my Zonzoomer YouTube series videos.